Good morning, people. How are we all today? Hope you're fine. And the truck, Davy, out the truck. Oh, better not start that until we get Facebook on board, eh? Silly boy. Anyway, I hope you're all fine today on this fine day. Which means you just get notified that we're live. That's Facebook on board. Right, good morning, people. Who's in? We've got Stephen Nichol, Alistair Kerr, Lorraine Logue, Jesus, that moved quick, Anne Chisholm, Neil McLean, Jim Stevens. Good morning, Anne. Good morning, Ian. Hi, Melanie. First day Facebook is in this morning. How are you this morning? Hello, Ali. How are you? Barbara, nice to see you there. Mark. Good morning, Christina. How are you? Anyway, numbers are climbing nicely. Hi, Jim. Mark. So let's get this programme underway, shall we? Morning, Ali. Indy Truck Davy at the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is not bad morning, clear this morning. Some light fluffy clouds, 14 degrees, pollen counts moderate. That's what the weather's like here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like with you, look out your rain, bloody windy. Good morning, Sir Larry the Cat. Good morning, Tories don't get tasered. Eddie. Right, folks, as you know, it's Wednesday morning, so we have David in to give a reaction to the headlines, or basically to wander off in segues and directions that none of the rest of us would ever think of going in, you know. So we'll get him in a minute. Good morning, Carol, how are you? There is a variety of news in the papers today, which is a wee change, because normally it's the same crap. Okay, right, so let's get the other one in, and then we'll talk about my wee visit to Whitburn yesterday.
Hey, you. Yeah, you're some governor, you really do, honestly.
I know how to do an intro, dear boy.
I was thinking of writing a post called Down the Rabbit Hole. And I was thinking, no, in actual fact, it needs to be a series of posts. Because we do it. We do it from time to time, right? You have to do it in order to figure out where something fits, right? It's the old Occam's razor thing, where the simplest solution is the one that is the truth, right? And you go down the rabbit hole. Sometimes you actually find that. You go, bloody hell, never thought of that. Yeah, so there you go.
You know, after 15 years, big fella, I still think a fucking Scooby what you're on about. Fucking decade and a half, and I still don't know what rabbit hole you're living in.
No. I've got a pile of them.
Anyway, folks, yesterday, put a wee video with. Was trying to get in contact with a few charities, managed to get a grip of one in Livingston, waiting them getting back to me. One in a Kettlebridge, I think it was called, and a Whitburn Community Trust, who run a food kitchen, they call it the Whitburn Fridge, where they discount food and give food to people who need help. And there yesterday, met a nice fella called David. A nice fella called David McLean and a nice young fella called Connor. And they did offer to show me around the organisation, but folks, you know, we're no interested in doing poverty porn. So I said, no. I said, I'll sit here, you can tell me a bit about it. And he tell me a wee bit about it. I says, right, seeing I'm here, I'll just give you the money. I said, I'll get my gimbal out the car, make a wee short video, because the viewers don't normally see this part of the thing going on. You know, so it's normally me at my desk trying to dial people and convince them to take money off us. and then running down to Motherwell and transferring it. So
it's like it becomes part of the furniture after a while. People just accept the take donations for food banks. People don't really think about it. Doing something like that, that's powerful, David, and thank you for that. And what's the old phrase? Chance favours the opportunist.
So while I was there, the young fella gave me information all about the Whitburn Community Development Trust, their community garden, their different projects.
Yeah.
And then he asked me to let the people of West Lothian know, who are in our audience, that they are having a gala ball. And I'll give you a wee bit of the details. It's a Saturday, the 11th of October, 2025, 6:30 p.m. 4:7 p.m. start, Hillcroft Hotel, East Main Street, Whitburn. And a 2-course meal, dance the night away, raffle, that sort of thing. And I believe the young fella, David McLean, who was the manager of the Community Trust, actually plays in the band. So there you go. It's 45 quid a ticket for all you rich people out there. George Kempit, that's your town. I expect you to go.
Forcing the poor man to spend 45 quid on that's careful.
And to be fair, the young fella Connor made a lovely cup of coffee, so it was a nice outing. Unfortunately, David being a half-wit, I left my glasses there, so I've got to go back today and get them. But it was a pleasure to go along, and I thought it would be, it's not something we want today, folks, but I thought it would be nice to see you guys to actually see your money and what actually working. You know, so I might do the odd one of them as long as they don't, I won't be videoing food parcels being handed out or things like that, you know.
I know you told me, but I'm going to ask you to tell the audience, what did he do with that money once he got? What was he going to do straight after the podcast?
Sure, but that's neither here nor there.
What does he buy?
Food to you for the people.
Yeah, that right, okay, right. But what specifically is he looking for?
I don't know, David. I didn't ask.
You did tell me. You said he's looking for stuff that's coming out of date. It's going to be out of date, sort of thing, and you get
picking up
it's a better deal.
I think the term the young fella used in the video was surplus foods to the supermarkets.
Yeah.
You know, people. As I say, I did see there's a shop front. I spoke to Connor at the shop door. He took me to see the manager. All very nice. I said, but I don't want to get in and watch people getting their food parcels and buying food and things like that, because it's a donation-based thing as well. That helps them to buy again, you know. So those that can afford to give a donation. But as I say, we're lovely people. You know, morning, Tina. And they had the citizens' advice in their community trust as well, which was good. There's all these different things there. What did they do? Citizens Advice Bureau was there. They've got a community garden. They've got Friends of Polkemmet Park. They've got a community support hub. They've got a brunch club where they feed people. Community fridge. They've got online access for people who get help. They also do some activities where the people walking.
In actual fact, may I suggest that is a formation of a franchise. And if that was continued all the way right throughout Scotland, it would actually increase our community life.
Well, as I say, I was quite impressed. The boy did want to take me around the enterprise and show me everything, but I said, no. You know, I said, I'm not here to make a video.
Yeah.
But just that wee short 5-minute clip so that people can see that the money actually goes to work.
Very good, very good.
What was that? Right, time's pressing on. First up this morning, David's the Daily Record. I don't put it up, but it's got Brexit blasted. Poison. Nigel Farage slammed for defending the racist campaign ad attacking Sarwar. Scottish Labour leader hits back saying Scots will reject poisonous reform. Far-right party tactics labelled scummy as First Minister demands it stops.
Where did they leave their handbags when they were doing this?
I have no idea.
Because to be honest with you, Sarwar initially came out with a thing of, it's a dog whistle, right? And now they're having a real go at each other. To my way of thinking, let them go, mate. It's great. Well, good for it. Where's the popcorn? It's over. Right, I'll have some popcorn, thank you.
My thoughts on it has been, David, as you watch it unfold, is where's the UK party in this? Star Wars, as Darmer's no said nothing in defence.
Yeah. No.
When it was brought up by the Prime Minister's in the Commons, the Secretary of State didn't have a Scooby what Pete Wishart was talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
They're so far up their arses in that London-centric bubble, they haven't got a Scooby.
Yeah.
Right, next up we've got the Telegraph. I'll stick it up.
Oh, the American Telegraph, produced in New York, actually, so here.
Is it?
Yes, that's right. And there's a bid going on for, obviously, owners in Britain, because it used to be the Bartley brothers that owned the Telegraph. And they lived offshore, as you know.
Yes. Anyway, the Telegraph will get an interesting take on this one. Hitchcock Farage attacks sectarian Sarwar. Wow.
Yeah, all right, okay.
So that's it. We knew he was a liar. Knew he apparently is a sectarian.
I would call Sarwar lots of names, but sectarian really, to my mind, doesn't gel, doesn't fit. You know, and maybe we've got to forgive them because they are over 3,000 miles away in New York producing this, so maybe that's all they see. So
anyway, the byline is a HMRC plan for tax rate on pensions.
Right, okay. I take it that's private pensions. It wouldn't be state pension, would it?
Well, a very short state pension will be dragged into income tax, so it could well be state pension for some people.
They're talking about giving an extra £713 per year, and that literally that's if you're on pension, you're there. Any more than that, and you're gonna.
Right, next up we'll get the Scotsman because we don't have time to ramble on these, David. Cut to violence reduction unit as knife crime rises sharply. So the Scotsman's still on this nonsense about knife crime. What do you reckon?
Yeah, they do tend to run things like that, don't they? Even when everybody's going, we're fucking sick of this. Talk about something else, right? The cut to violence reduction unit. What's happened is one of the bobbies involved is he retired or something like that? Is that what it is? And they're trying to make a headline out of that.
No, it's just that violent crime has been, as you know, it's reduced by 69% in 16 years, right? Yeah. And dropping funding for work with youth branded irresponsible. Well, there's only so much room in the pot, and when it's no needed so desperately in one area, you shift into another area. And because violent crime is down by 69% in the last 16 years, you maybe don't need as many people in that particular unit.
Yeah, but look, what I'm saying is, looking at the headline, that they are arguing that knife crime has increased.
Well, it has by three people get stabbed.
But there's other people stabbed in the park.
Well, these numbers go up and down all the time.
Yeah, I know.
You've got to take a mean average.
Yeah.
As we've seen with the reports for the violence reduction unit,
and what the Scotsmen are doing is chance favours the opportunists. They are lousy opportunists. They're looking for the way to actually create an SNP bad story. That's it. End of story.
Well, you're just about to get one for the Herald. The Heralds go on. 1 in 9 Scots face long waits for planned treatment on NHS.
Oh, bloody hell, man. Jings, it's a bit same old. And who's that ugly looking character in the middle of the blooming page as well?
Never mind that.
Oh, it's been years.
We'll talk about that.
Put people off a newspaper.
We'll talk about that one tomorrow. We'll talk about that one tomorrow after that. All right, we're on the paper, we're on the headlines. Now, let me fix that headline to the Herald and point something out that you guys might not know about this headline, including David. 6 months ago, it was 1 in 7 on long-term waiting lists. So what the headline's actually telling us, that over a 6-month period, to be able to shorten that waiting list by a good couple of people.
Yeah.
The other thing you should know, folks, when they're talking about long waits, they're actually talking about the prescribed waiting time. They think that's too long.
In actual fact, just by the numbers you've given us there, that's 20% better position
Correct.
than we were 6 months ago.
That's right, Carol. Let's do it the way we used to do things. 8 and 9 are doing okay and getting seen on time.
That's right.
You know, it's all about how you present that figures, stats. You know what it says? Stats, and damn stats, you know.
Yeah.
But folks, what the Herald's telling us is that the health service is improving quite rapidly.
Yeah.
They're just putting a negative spin on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the difficulty is that people are not savvy enough to pick that up. I'm talking about the people that aren't looking for it.
the people that are hitting that headline, David, they think, whoa, you know, that's big, that's naughty, that's bad.
Yeah.
But when you know the fucking headline was printed 6 months ago because you've got it written down.
Aye. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Next one.
Anyway, next up, the fail has. What's the fail got for us this morning? No doubt something outrageously stupid.
The Germanic writing. So the Telegraph as well. There's something in that.
Right. Wait here, this one. Hundreds of staff at Scotland's busiest airports could walk out over pay row. Unions summer holiday strike threat. I love this type of headline, David, but what do you make it?
It just means that what happens is when a particular industry has got a glut of business coming through, what happens is they go, I've got an idea, lads, let's go and strike. And then we can really bugger things, see if we get some more pay out of it.
Well, I just love the way this headline is written. Hundreds of staff could. No will, could. Yeah. They've been saying that about all the sectors here in Scotland and they've been settled, private or public, you know. Yeah. Could. It's what you call fear-mongering.
Chance favours the bloody opportunist.
Yeah, fear-mongering shite.
Yes.
So we're talking about the busiest airports at the busiest time of year. If I was in the trade union and I was wanting my pay increased, if I was working in that sector and I wanted my pay increased, that's the bloody time to make a threat.
Yeah.
You know, that's an extra 1% in that offer that's being given to you.
Yeah.
You know, but I could get pregnant tomorrow if I was a young lady. I mean, it's just one of the ones. I love the headlines. Right, next up we've got the Knuckle Draggers Rugby Express. What's it got for us this morning? It's got driver is suspected of tailgating ambulance to get through roadblock. Liverpool car attacker was high on drugs.
I actually saw it. Somebody put out the video of it. Pretty horrible for the people who stood there. Something like that, you know.
As far as I know, no fatalities, but 4 kids and that injured. And I don't know what was in the man's head. I really don't.
Crazy.
You know, I've seen a couple of things in the papers this morning relating to this thing. The tailgate and the ambulance thing to get through a roadblock. Well, that would indicate that something right.
My point, if you go with the thing of chance favours the opportunist, if I was a Scottish writer against the people of England, I'd say, what are you doing with the drugs situation in England must be ridiculous. No, but fair's fair. You know, they have a go at us, so let's have a bit of recuperation going back the way. All right.
Let's not stoop to that level. Right, next up with the National.
But that's what an express blooming hack would do.
Right, they've got a report. The National's got a report on what one of the reporters found in the campaign. Read the article yourself. We are here for the headline. UK is accused of mockery as trade envoy visits Israel. Corbyn and Yusuf among those to condemn government hypocrisy as Pia is sent on mission. Just after trade talks halted. It would appear trade talks didn't fucking halt. What do you make of that, David?
I think that's dreadful. To be honest with you, that shows me that they say it one side of their mouth, oh yeah, we're stopping all things with Israel, right? And the other side of their mouth, get him out there so we can get some extra trade out of it. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That really is ridiculous that we are having to, as people, we're locked inside this UK at the moment, and it's like to be held to this kind of nonsense is ridiculous. Shouldn't be accepted.
What it does is it just sort of justifies you and I saying that shite in the Commons was nothing more than clickbait.
So, yeah.
It was nothing more than a threat.
Yeah.
They'd no intention of doing anything. And they say they stop trade talks and then send a trade envoy. Fucking sounds like it.
David Lammy did a speech all about genocide and didn't say the word once.
Aye. Right, well, next up we've got the Guardian. Let's get the Guardian up. It seems to be becoming a feature. The Sun seems to have dropped off right enough, which is just as well. Fucking crap rag anyway. Right, ministers in standoff with Reeves over planned public service cuts.
She's getting lined up, isn't she? She's off with her head. That's seriously. Rachel Reeves, I think, is going to be made the scapegoat by Starmer.
You think so? You think there'll be... Well, the spending review's coming up. I think it's next week.
Yeah. Do they do it before the spending review or do they do it afterwards?
I think
it takes the heat off. If he did it before, then he could say, well, I don't have any place Rachel at the moment, so therefore we'll do the spending review a few weeks down the line.
Problem with that is it means he's got to get another transfer and he's got to get an economic strategy in place for but there's a few other things in the papers today that will tell you that Reeves might be getting strong armed into changing her ways.
Yeah.
Aye.
She won't change her ways. The Starmer won't allow her to change her ways. What Starmer will do is he'll remove her.
Don't think Starmer has a chance, David, and in order to remove her, he's going to have to get rid of Morgan McSweeney. He's going to have to get rid of his version of Dominic Cummings, which might well happen.
Yeah.
Which might well happen.
Easily.
Right. Next up with the eye, what's it got for us this morning? Farage policies would risk trust, mini-budget style market chaos, economists warn.
I think saying it's going to worsen trust, well, okay. Yeah, all right, I'll give in to that. Maybe they're right. I don't know. But I don't want to see us actually going through it. Something like that.
Didn't they know they had fucking policies?
Yeah, well, they're not going to...
A single policy document.
The one policy they've got is they're not going to use tax to pay for the NHS. What does that say? Looking at the 1 in 9 face weights on, you know what I mean? It's like, effectively, if you are not going to use tax to pay for the NHS, how's it going to get paid for?
David,
it's going to get paid for by health insurance companies. Do they want to pay it? No, they fucking don't.
That's a rabbit hole I didn't want to go down. Headline tells us he's going to do a Trump-style thing, massive transfer of wealth. Okay.
Can I go back my rabbit hole, please?
Next up, we have the Metro. What's the Metro for us this morning? Attempted murder quiz over Liverpool car horror. Parade suspect in drug drive arrest.
I don't know. It depends on the drugs that was taken. End of the day, the guy was maybe driving a car. He didn't know where he was or what he was doing.
I know that. He was following the ambulance and he needed to get to the hospital fast because his prescribed medication meant he was wearing that and he was going loopy.
Yeah.
You know, David, stats tell us that 50% of the drivers on the road have got one type of drug floating about in them or another. The majority, of course, is prescription drugs.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
But, you know, the amount of people 50-year-old and over that are on a daily prescription drug is quite massive. Because every time I see a bloody medical professional, they keep telling me to bring all the prescription drugs with me that I've got, that I'm on. And I'm like, what the fuck are you people talking about prescription drugs? You know?
The thing is, they should know.
You know, I've just the chest cleared. You know, I've just had the chest clear. I've just had the tests on my chest because of the infection last year, mate. And it's back all clear. I went in, the first thing the nurse says to me is, where's your inhaler? Where's your prescription drugs? What the fuck? I guess they think your generation rattle.
But the thing gets me is, right, a lot of the prescription drugs that say somebody like me would be on, with peripheral neuropathy or whatever, right, is opioids, right? In other words, right, seriously, and it's like, yeah, you're allowed to drive. As long as it doesn't cause drowsiness, you're allowed to drive. Bloody hell.
Stay off the road.
Anyway.
You stay off the road. Let's see. I mean, the headline's not specific enough for me. Was you on an illegal drug? Was you on a prescription drug?
Yeah.
No. Or was he just an arsehole who didn't want to go the long way around, so followed an ambulance?
Brief word here, right? If you're on drugs that are opioids and all the rest of it, that make you go to sleep all the time, to allow you to deal with pain, take the pain. Have a life. Deal with the pain. Your brain finds ways of actually dealing with pain. You don't need silly white smarties from the doctor.
Okay, what's the Star go for us this morning, folks? The Star has: police arrest man 53 for attempted murder. Cop parade driver was on drugs. Now that would tend to imply that he was on an illicit drug.
Yeah.
And there's a snapshot of him in the car, but I don't know what it's meant to be shown.
I think in actual fact, if, as you say, it could be prescription drugs or whatever, the police arrest somebody in that situation as a matter of course, right?
That's an interesting isn't it?
Yeah, they don't just stand there and go, oh, don't know what to do. They arrest them and get them up to the police station or whatever, right? And then they do with investigation as to what happened, you know.
I know how it works, David. So the audience have been around a while. Yeah. But it's an interesting snapshot of that picture because it looks as if there's three hands in the picture.
Yeah, maybe.
But obviously, it's a still for a video, and that hand's got the flag in it, and it's heading towards his gob. You know?
Yeah.
It's quite an interesting picture, that one. Interesting. But when I first seen it, I'm going, three hands? How's there three hands in that bloody picture?
Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's a still. Well, nice variety in the papers today. Mostly a lot of nonsense. I love the way some of these papers just do the scaremongering, but this could happen. This could happen. That could happen. Aye, you're going to love the Daily Rags, David. Right.
Yeah, I see some of them in the other rabbit holes further across the field, you know, so yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, that's another one, dude. I'll be back tomorrow to get back into some sensible newspaper reviewing.
Providing us some sensible newspapers to review.
Aye. And we won't be off down the medical rabbit hole. We won't be off down any other rabbit hole. Now, folks, if you're on prescription opiates, check and make sure you're fine to drive before you get in the car.
Yeah.
Because the majority of people on drugs in the UK who get in cars are on prescription drugs.
Yeah, okay. You
read the instructions.
Just to add to that, you can figure I was on 20 of those drugs, of those pills.
Your personal drug habit is, Mr. Milligan. I don't agree for your personal drug habit this morning.
You can imagine that out of those 20 tablets I took every day, I was sleeping for 20 hours out of 24 every day.
Sounds like a good idea, putting you to sleep for 20 hours a day. That's for sure.
Good dreams.
Your dreams. That might be another one of your many fucking rabbit holes. Right, folks, that's it for the day. Thanks
Right.
very much for tuning in. Thanks for any donations. Thanks to the mod for moderating. We'll get shot of this one. When you'll get shot of me now, I'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. You'll get another dose of this
Hi,
one.
guys.
Bye.